So far today, we are an hour into trade. Let's get some of the themes that we'll be watching throughout the week. Peter McGuire joining us in studio from XM. Peter, good to see you.
Good to see you, Nadine.
So, what's obsessing traders this morning?
I think Friday night was very interesting. I'm just looking at New Zealand and it's down 1.5%. So they're ahead of us, and I look at that, when I talk later in the day and you look across the Asia and you cap everything and all those moving parts, I always look at the first market open and it gives me a bit of a heads up how the day unfolds across Asia. So down 1.5%, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a sell-off across Asian equities for the day. We're off a little bit. Now we saw gold come off very heavily on Friday night, about nearly 5%. Silver down nearly 10%, but they've bounced this morning. That's interesting, and bounced well to the upside. Oil up, oil's at 52. Over the last week, it's been a glory trade. We're up nearly 12-13% in a week. So that's what I've been keeping an eye on.
Yeah, right. Okay, there's always something that you're watching across your many, many screens, Peter,
yes.
I know. But underlying a lot of this enthusiasm, bottom line is stimulus. Stimulus expectations in the US now at trillion.
Sure. And there's no doubt I don't think it's going to stop. So when we've got March, when we've got May, when we've got July, we've got major issues across all of those major economies. Have a look what the situation is. I've heard Khan come out in the last 72 hours talk about the London situation. Under 1 in 30, about 1 in 25 that have got COVID. The impact it's having to the Scour economy in Japan, Nadine. So no doubt that stimulus is going to have to roll across those countries again, and Eurozone, and then very much leading into the States.
Okay, and so in the States, it's not just fiscal monetary policy support, fiscal policy support, it's monetary policy support, but we don't have any major central bank meetings. We've got this drip feed of commentary coming from US Fed officials. We're in a little bit of a quiet period. Yeah.
Quiet week, and I'm not expecting anything to really come out of left of field. I think it's just got to wash through that. We've had all the talks in December. We've had Christmas. We had very, very poor performing non-farm payrolls on Friday night, which really I think hit the market between the eyes. We were expecting 50 to 100,000 positive number, and we got a negative. Yeah. So that really is a wake-up call that possibly that's I think the turn of events, Nadine, that we've actually got to see that stimulus being rolled out quicker or with a little bit more firepower. I'm noticing bond yields, 10-year up. Energy prices, I still have a headline there in my mind, 60's got to be the shut-off point. It really chokes an economy with a higher energy market. Great for a producer, but at the moment it's not good for consumers.
You mentioned yields. So US inflation expectations are roaring higher.
Sure, had to.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, you've got energy markets that's really a barometer. I look at that and I look at some of the base metals, really very much Dr. Copper and what's happening as far as energy, to give me a headline where we're moving forward. So there's been a very big push to the upside. Energy is, one-way traffic at the moment, and it's marching towards that big 60 number. So we might be there by end of month. We understand what the situation is with Saudis. I was on that OPEC call last week. I'm understanding the flexibility of the domestic economy in America as far as oil production. I'm sure a lot of those people, the wildcatters that are out there, we've got rig counts low, Nadine. So I think they'll springboard back into action at 55 or 60 bucks a barrel. It's fruitful for them. They've been sitting on a farm in Montana and they say, I better go back to work.
Okay, so we have stimulus, really all that matters for equities. So vaccines, cheap money, new relief packages. The party, is it going to continue in terms of equities, Pete?
Unless something left of field comes in, and I've been around long enough to realise that no one knows the future. No one's got a towel over their head saying this is what's going to happen. So I think at the moment, it's very much, if nothing happens left of field, some large event, and keep on doing your research. That's one of the greatest things I think traders have got to look at. Technicals, fundamentals, what's happening. Scour news services as far as, because if you're trading, you've got to know what the talk is, what the hum of the street is, and it's a 24-hour-a-day market. Many traders are trading international markets. They start trading at 6 o'clock at night and running into Eurozone and then America. So everyone's got a different footprint where they trade and what they do. These markets don't sleep, Nadine.
No, they sure don't. All right, neither do you a lot. Sometimes, Peter
Sometimes.
McGuire, but you do take care of yourselves. All right, great to talk from XM.
God bless you.
Really appreciate your time as always, Peter McGuire there.